Good morning. Today's date is July 1st, 2026. We're at the residence of Terry Mahoney, and we are here to analyze the damages claimed on his Allstate policy, which has been denied by Allstate with the exception of the downspouts. First thing I'd like to look at is the downspouts, which were covered by the adjuster. All right, we're coming out to 3/4 inches to 1 inch, roughly. 3/4 inches to 1 inch. 3/4 inches to 1 inch. So I want to point out that the damage is 3/4 inch to 1 inch on this downspout, which are covered by the adjuster. He agrees that they are damaged by hail. We can agree based on what we just measured that they're all consistent in shape and size, okay, as the hail reported on the data loss. However, the adjuster directly contradicts himself in his email, which I'll post here, saying that hail is not consistent in shape and size. Yet he's covering the damage on the downspouts, okay? Why don't we take a look at this downspout over here? Now, based on my 10 years of experience, if it was caused by the same event, it'll likely be similar in shape and size. And it is 3/4 inch to 1 inch, 3/4 inch to 1 inch, 3/4 inch. Start taking a look at some of the anomalies on the shingles, why don't we? Any wild guess as to what the measurements might come out to? Here you go, obvious bruised shingle, 3/4 inch to 1 inch. So we're seeing a pattern here, which anybody that's reasonable would be able to draw the conclusion that this is probably all caused by the same event. We're having some sort of consistency in measurement. Maybe not shape, which again, he contradicts himself there, says the shapes are similar, which again, I've never seen a square ice cube hail hit. They're all circular in some capacity, but you can look at this hail hit and look at that one and see they're not exactly the same shape or size, okay? This one exactly comes out to 1 inch by 3/4 inches. This one exactly comes out to 3/4 inches by 3/4 inches. So they're not consistent in shape and size. Everything about his reason for denying this, it contradicts itself. It doesn't make any sense. It's actually really puzzling to me, as long as I've been doing this, that would be the reason for denying this with a obvious storm date in the area. We can see down here, we got hail hits, impacts into the gutter. I've got one marked there. Let's mark this one so you know it's actually damaged. Okay. You can all see that dent right there. Let's take a measurement. 3/4 inches. Okay. The thing stated by the adjuster is that no functional damage is present from the weather event at this property, saying that the water shedding ability has not been affected. Here you can see an obvious impact into the shingle. What I want to do is take a bottle of water, and we're going to do a little water test to see if any water gets through that shingle. Okay, do it slowly. Now let's take a look up underneath this shingle. First of all, if we look at the impact, I can see water standing in the crater, okay? There's actually standing water in that crater. That's not shedding water. Let's take a look up under the shingle. Look at that. We actually have water on the bottom and clear fractured matting. What is that? That's fractured mat and it's wet. So that is functional damage. You can see that it's pushed through the bottom of the shingle right there. What is that? Right there. That's fractured asphalt mat, ladies and gentlemen. Impacted inward. Functional damage. Ignored by the Allstate adjuster. Alrighty, we're gonna run another water test because the adjuster says that the damage he sees on the roof is not functional. Literal crater right there, by the way. And granule loss, those are embedded granules. You can literally see exposed fiberglass mat from the fractured asphalt mat, okay? That it doesn't shed water, or that the water shedding capabilities are not changed. Let's see how it sheds water. Okay. All right, so we got water. Once again, standing water sitting in that crater, okay? You can see the embedded granules. You can see the obvious indention into the shingle, the fractured asphalt mat. Why don't we take a look up underneath? And how about that? We've got wet. Look at that, I can see through the shingle, man. There's a little hole in the shingle and it's wet, and you can see fractured mat underneath it. It's wet. So that the water shedding capabilities are affected. You can literally see through the shingle, man. You can see the damaged shingle underneath. Bro. Ladies and gentlemen, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Let's keep moving along with our analysis of the damage. Three-quarter inches, 3/4 inches, 3/4 inch to 1 inch. Everything on this roof is falling within that 3/4 inch to 1 inch percentile, showing there is 3/4 inch to 1 inch. There is a consistency with the shape and size of hail when it affects a roof, okay? If it's on the front, it'll likely be on the back. 3/4 inch to 1 inch. Let's see if we see any signs of spatter. Obvious spatter on the boot. Obvious spatter on the boot, indicating that there was in fact hail at this property. Dents all in the back gutter. Why don't we go take a look at the gutter? Dents inside the gutter. Three-quarter inches. Alrighty, so everything is measuring up to the same shape and size, contradictory to his statement that hail is not the same shape and size. So you mean to tell me, again, 3/4 inch to 1 inch, you mean to tell me that a 1 inch hailstorm is going to produce 5-inch hail? Is that Allstate's position? Is it Allstate's position that when you can literally see through the shingle from a fractured hit, that's not functional damage? Is it Allstate's position that the hail is going to damage the downspouts, but the same size hail on the shingles and the roof, it's not hail? Or is it Allstate's policy to deny genuine claims for homeowners? 3/4 inch to 1 inch, referencing the adjuster's mention of the damages are from a prior or evident in a prior inspection. Why weren't they paid for then? Answer me that. We have a new hailstorm. Can you tell me this is new hail or old hail? 3/4 inch to 1 inch hail. If you can, I'd love to hear how you could know it's new hail or old hail based off a new storm date. Hail, embedded granules, not granule loss. 3/4 inch to 1 inch. 3/4 inch to 1 inch. 3/4 inch to 1 inch. Widespread damages. Soft metals, downspouts, gutters. Soft metals, downspouts, gutters, shingles. It's all consistent with the storm on June 26th. 3/4 inch to 1 inch. 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 Embedded granules, not granule loss. Embedded granules. Embedded granules, fractured asphalt matting down to the fiberglass, which is going to affect the ability of this shingle to shed water, leading to a leak. Ladies and gentlemen, functional damage. Guys, we've got to start doing the right thing in this industry before bad people take over all over the place. Honesty trumps everything. This, honestly, is obviously damaged by hail. The patterns are all there, okay? This shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't have to go to a manager for review. The shingle's not capably shedding, or is not properly or capable of properly shedding water. It's coming through. The damage is so bad that it's fractured through to the shingle beneath. It's all measuring up roughly in the same size as the same hail reported on the date of loss that the homeowner has claimed. If you're gonna pay for the downspouts, you gotta pay for the gutters. If it's damaging the gutters, it's damaged the roof.